Good evening. I'm bringing you a critical story unfolding beneath our feet, one that could impact everything from your phone to American economic power. Tonight, we're exploring what might be the most significant shift in global trade since World War II. Imagine walking into your local electronics store next year and finding prices doubled or items unavailable. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a scenario economists are seriously considering as China tightens its grip on global exports. The numbers are stark. U.S. imports from China fell by 20% last year. Meanwhile, China's trade with emerging markets is soaring, up by 30% with BRICS nations in 2023. For decades, America has led the global economic orchestra. Our dollar, rules, and systems have dominated international trade. But we're witnessing a seismic shift in global commerce. China isn't just reducing exports, they're orchestrating a pivot away from U.S.-dominated systems. They're building new trade relationships with Brazil, India, and other emerging powers, creating a new economic Silk Road that bypasses American influence. What does this mean for you? Solar panels, smartphones, TVs, all could become significantly more expensive or harder to find. But there's a bigger issue: the control of rare earth minerals, the lifeblood of modern technology. China's stranglehold on these crucial resources is tightening by the day. This isn't just about trade figures. This is about American prosperity and our position in the world. We're watching what could be the end of an era where American economic leadership was unquestioned. As your trusted news source, we'll continue monitoring this situation. The question isn't just whether America can maintain its economic leadership. It's whether we're prepared for a world where we might not be the only conductor of the global economic orchestra. Stay tuned as we explore how this shift could affect your wallet, investments, and America's future. Breaking news on America's critical technology vulnerability reveals a startling reality affecting every household. A report shows that over 90% of rare earth minerals, essential for everything from smartphones to defense systems, are processed in China, putting the United States at risk. Every electronic device in your home could become unaffordable or unavailable. The Consumer Technology Association confirms that over 70% of electronics sold in America come from China, and prices have jumped 15% due to trade tensions. Peter Zahn, a leading geopolitical strategist, warns that China's tightening grip on exports threatens Western supply chains. This affects our automotive industry, renewable energy sector, and military capabilities. The U.S. currently produces only 12% of the world's semiconductors, while China controls more than 50% of the supply chain. Rebuilding our domestic semiconductor industry would cost over $1 trillion and take more than a decade. This situation mirrors the politically turbulent region bordering Russia, where resource dependencies create strategic vulnerabilities. The United States must choose between investing in domestic production or risking its geopolitical position. The White House flagged this as a national security risk in 2021, but limited action has been taken. Industry experts predict that if China restricts exports, prices could triple across multiple sectors. The Wall Street Journal reports that Americans are already feeling the impact. The question now is whether the U.S. can afford the investment needed for technological independence, or if Chinese influence over our economy will become increasingly unavoidable. We'll keep you informed about how these changes might affect your daily life, and what steps you can take to prepare for potential market disruptions. In a striking analysis of global manufacturing dynamics, experts warn of significant challenges ahead for U.S. industrial capacity. The Peterson Institute reveals that American families could face $22,000 in additional annual expenses if current trade restrictions persist. This comes as manufacturers struggle with slow production scaling during supply chain disruptions. The global economy is shifting as China strengthens its position through strategic partnerships. The Belt and Road Initiative draws nations like Brazil, South Africa, and Saudi Arabia into China's economic orbit. This realignment represents a departure from U.S.-led trade alliances, forcing nations to reassess their economic allegiances. India's decision to trade with Russia using rupees instead of dollars exemplifies this transformation. ASEAN nations are developing independent payment systems, reducing dependence on Western infrastructure. These moves signal a trend toward economic autonomy. The BRICS alliance now commands over 31% of global GDP, establishing itself as an alternative to U.S.-centered economic structures. This multipolar approach is reshaping global commerce. While U.S.-China trade relations appear strained, agricultural exports tell a different story. U.S. exports of soybeans and wheat to China surged by 25% in 2023, even as overall imports declined. This interdependence proves resistant to stringent policy measures. China's advancement in technologies, including AI and quantum computing, challenges U.S. technological supremacy. The Carnegie Endowment suggests that restrictive policies might affect this technological race, extending beyond traditional trade metrics. This evolution in global trade dynamics reflects a transformation in international economic relations, where established patterns give way to more complex arrangements. U.S. policymakers must navigate these changes while maintaining American economic interests and global influence. Good evening, viewers. Tonight's top story focuses on a critical shift in global economic power that could affect your wallet and America's position in the world. Remember the 1980s when Japanese cars were flooding our markets? The U.S. tried to stop them with tariffs, but that backfired. Toyota and Honda came back stronger. Now, history might be repeating itself with China, but the stakes are much higher. Our current policies aimed at containing China's economic rise might actually be accelerating it. When we push, they're investing billions in new technologies and global infrastructure projects. As Jeffrey Sachs explains, these economic containment efforts often produce unexpected results. Here's what should grab your attention. The U.S. dollar's grip on global trade is slipping. Back in 1999, 71% of global reserves were in dollars. Today, that's down to 58%. This could affect everything from your retirement savings to the cost of goods at your local store. China isn't sitting idle. They're building new trade partnerships with Russia and Brazil. The BRICS nations are exploring a new reserve currency. As Cornell University's Eswar Prasad warns, if the dollar loses its central role, America's ability to influence global markets will diminish. While we've long championed free trade and open markets, our recent actions, tariffs, company blacklists, and trade restrictions tell a different story. This contradiction hasn't gone unnoticed. Emerging powers are now demanding equal treatment, challenging America to practice what it preaches. The big question: are we witnessing the birth of a new multipolar economic world? And more importantly, what role will America play in this changing landscape? We'll continue monitoring these developments that impact your financial future. Stay with us after the break as we explore what this means for American businesses and investments. Breaking news: global economic power shift threatens American prosperity. In a dramatic development shaping our economic future, experts warn that the United States stands at a critical crossroads. China's aggressive trade policies and control over vital resources are forcing America to make crucial decisions about its economic future. We're seeing a fundamental restructuring of global trade, says Dr. James Harrison, senior economic analyst. The United States can either adapt or risk losing its position as the world's leading economy. At the heart of this challenge lies the $52 billion CHIPS Act, aimed at revitalizing American semiconductor manufacturing. But industry insiders say this might be too late. With China processing most rare earth minerals and controlling key supply chains, the U.S. faces pressure to rebuild its industrial capacity. The situation becomes more concerning when examining infrastructure. American bridges, roads, and ports are aging rapidly, while competitors build state-of-the-art facilities. The current situation in the northern Black Sea region has exposed global supply chain vulnerabilities. This isn't just another economic cycle, explains Jennifer Matthews, infrastructure policy expert. We're witnessing a potential collapse of the U.S.-centric economic order unless decisive action is taken. Policymakers are scrambling to respond, but questions remain about their efforts' sufficiency. The signals are clear. America must reinvest in domestic manufacturing, boost innovation, and modernize infrastructure to remain competitive. The stakes couldn't be higher. As the U.S. dollar's global dominance wanes and alternative trade agreements emerge, America's economic leadership hangs in the balance. The decisions made in Washington over the next few months could determine whether we're entering an era of American renewal or decline. For more insights on this story and its impact on your financial future, subscribe to our channel and join the conversation below. What are your thoughts on America's economic challenges? Share your views in the comments section.